We're very lucky to be joined tonight by the team behind one of Cambridge's most colourful, vibrant and new breweries, producing excellent beer from a range of styles, including stouts to beers with mango flavouring to pilsners. So without any further ado, I'd like to welcome Marcus and Adita from Turpin's Brewery. And I think we'll start with you, Marcus. Would you like to tell us a bit about your background and how you got into this business?
Well, I think he's on mute.
Okay, we'll start with you then, Adita.
Well, I'm very happy to be here. Marcus, are you back?
Yeah, I think I'm back. You hear me now?
Yeah, everybody can hear you. So I think we have 15 people and we have a little plan today to talk about our beers and about our brewery. And I'm very excited because I joined brewery 2016 and I kind of I'm very interested all the time to hear the stories from the beginning, how Marcus decided to have a brewery and why it's Turpin's Brewery and why the logo is meditating silhouette. So Marcus, to you.
Right. Well, I started looking at going into brewing. It was 20 years ago, but actually not in the UK. We'd always had a background in pubs and nightclubs, but about 20 years ago, I found myself in Spain with a restaurant and a bar in Spain, and then decided, well, quite missing English British beer, and so I decided to start up my own little microbrewery in Spain, which is a bit unusual. I think at the time there was only about 3 microbreweries in the whole of Spain at that time. So that was really the start. That was back in 2000, which is a couple of years ago now, and that was my first in looking to brewing, which was a lot of studying, a lot of learning, and just really the whole thing started to snowball from there. Really, over the last 20 years, it's gradually progressed to where we are now, with a little bit of a break in between. When I moved back to the UK originally. So really, it sort of started from there, and it had been ongoing with my love affair with beer for the best part of most of my life. We decided to open up and introduce the beer into Spain, and then after we left Spain, we come straight back to the UK. And after having a pub in the UK for a little while, I was missing the making beer again, so I decided to put a little microbrewery in the Med pub in Cambridge on Pern Road, and that's when really Adita joined me, wasn't it? Way back in 2016. It's all quite a while ago, wasn't it? Now.
I do think you missed a little bit of history because there was some people working before me, and when I joined there was already flagship beers. It was Meditation and Cambridge Black. It was already there, and the name was already there, and the meditating logo was already there. And I think when I talk with the people and when they ask me about the brewery, the most asked question is why the logo is meditating silhouette.
Well, anyone who's had the first sip of beer after a hard day's work, that first sip of beer seems to relax you and you be quite honest, that's sort of on par with meditation as well. so for me that beer is a relaxation, and that's where the whole beer zen sort of comes together with the meditating logo. So it's really a natural progression, and the meditation was just one of the first beers we done, and that sort of tied in with our brand logo, which incidentally over the last year we've sort of tweaked it a little bit and redesigned, rebranded a lot of our beer labels, especially after Cambridge Beer Festival last year.
So, Marcus, going back to when you were brewing in Spain, when you came back to the UK and you started brewing here, was there anything you took from your experience in Spain, or anything they do in Spain that's slightly different to here? that you put into your beers?
Well, not really, because we was using a lot of American hops at the time, because we were you couldn't buy any hops or malts or anything in Spain, so we was literally shipping from the hop suppliers in the UK and from Muntons in East Anglia as well. So then we was literally having it sent over by pallet load, because we could not get any of the main ingredients in Spain, which was something, obviously, it's quite costly. It does put a cost on it, because transport costs from the UK to Spain was quite high. But we were still doing a craft beer product that Spain just hadn't seen before. They're used to their single sterilised, pasteurised beer, and they just weren't used to the amount of flavours and that was coming out of our beers in Spain, which for our little microbrewery they absolutely loved. Which was strange at the time, because now you see the way the whole world's progressed with craft breweries springing up everywhere. That's taken off quite a lot in Spain now. 20 years on, it has. But it certainly was a little bit unique back then. Even just the point of registering the brewery was near enough impossible at first. It took us about 12 months to just register the brewery with the custom excise there. But yeah, all good.
I mean, one of the things I've always really liked about your beers is, and I think I've been there, on the pub scene for long enough that I was there when you first kind of emerged in Cambridge. And it was that you take a lot of really interesting styles and add like a unique terpenes mix to it. I mean, especially like your mango meditation beer, which I currently have next to me now. What a wonderful beer, and something you don't really see that much of on the UK beer scene still. So what kind of influences you when you're going through making a new beer?
Well, I think a lot of people, I've seen a lot of the beer styles that come out, and they're quite heavily influenced one way or the other. There's no sort of common ground. But I think with something like, just for example, the milkshake, I think we used the slight hint of mango, so it wouldn't be overpowering, and the same token we blend it with particular hops that go with that type of fruit. So and with the milkshake side, we don't want to make it too sweet, so we try and balance everything out, so it's just makes it more of a smooth drink. I think you can get a beer which is predominantly fruit-based beer, and it just is too overpowering. I think you need to have something a little bit softer, and it balances out. I think that's the difference with a lot of our beers. We don't try and make them too overpowering.
I'd like to encourage anyone watching, if you have a favourite terpenes beer, let us know in the chat. We can have a little poll tonight and see which one is the most popular.
Have you got a favourite there, Dan, or is it the mango one?
Well, I'd have to say that your stout, the Cambridge Black, to be honest, that would be my favourite. But when you make so many good beers, it's very hard to rank them. No,
thank you. I must admit the stout is a particular favourite of mine as well. We've done quite well with it over the years, and definitely at Cambridge Beer Fest, we've seen people seem to love that. Incidentally, it's exactly the same with the mango, the milkshake. That I think that was one of our best-selling beers at Cambridge Beer Festival last year, and that was so much so we decided to put it into our can. I think that's one of our first canned beers we've done, and that seems to be ever popular.
Well, at the moment, I wouldn't like to take any bets on which of your beers is going to come up trumps here, because we're getting such a wide range of answers, which is fantastic. So what a fantastic compliment for you guys. So Edita, where did you sort of come into the terpenes business?
Funny enough, it was a little crisis in the industry I was working back in 2016. And basically, government decided to cut the tariff, which meant that our business didn't get that many customers. And I found myself working as business administration on my own in the company, and I realized that the whole industry is going, well, like disappearing. Let's put it this way. And I realized that despite the family that was running the company, they still wanted to keep me, but I felt like I was missing pubs I was working in the pub before I started to do the office job, and sitting in front of the screen all day with the paperwork and dealing with the customer complaints is really not something you want to do for a very long time. And for me, it was very, very kind of like hard to do it, because I like smiling, I like talking with the people, I like pubs, I like beers, I like to engage with the people. And when I was working behind the bar, when I was working in the pub, which I was working for a pub run by Marcus's dad, I was very happy. The only one thing is that my family was like, why are you pulling pints when you have a business administration degree? You can find a better job. And I did, but I kind of like, I was missing a people. So once a time, I was still drinking in a pub after the job. I wasn't very, very happy that time. I mean, it was good money, but it wasn't the job for me. And Marcus was like, you know, I opened the business, I opened the brewery, and I kind of like looking for somebody for sales. And I was like, sales, okay, yeah, I do have experience. I used to sell stuff, like I did a couple of jobs. So I was like, okay. And he was like, I'm also looking for somebody who could do like admin and visit the pubs and talk with the people. I was like, yeah, that's me. I'm gonna join it. So it's kind of like, I do remember the one thing you can expect from Marcus is anything unexpected. I was waiting for a job interview and I sent it my CV. And I remember one evening, one Friday, I'm standing in a pub, my local, with a wine. And Marcus comes like 7 o'clock and he was like, do you have a spare minute for a job interview? And I was like, what? It's Friday? And he was like, yeah, let's have a job interview. And yeah, that was my job interview, literally in the pub. And I thought, you know, I will join and I will have a job until I found something else. I wasn't planning to stay. Now it's going to be 4 years. But I kind of like, I really enjoyed it because it gave me freedom to do all the projects that I wanted and to do everything kind of the way that I wanted. It doesn't matter what it was. I also kind of like felt very valid that my opinion, it really matters, because we had 2 rebrandings. I think we had, yeah.
Probably about near 3, and be honest with you, the last logo change, how many months was we tweaking that logo?
2 months. Oh my god, you should join us in the office. It's hilarious. So basically, to design a new beer for us takes 6 hours. Like, to talk about the hops, what we want to achieve, about the color, about the beer color, about everything, about the strength. We usually like, we look at the beers we have, we decide what we want. If there is a people who saying what we want, we also like take those opinions. But you should see, when it comes to label color, it's 3 days. It's like, no, I don't like this font. No, I don't like this color. And it's just at least 3 days. I mean, recently, because of the COVID-19, we're going to have a couple of new beers because we brewed some for Cambridge Beer Festival, but well, it's not happening. So we're gonna can them. So we had to decide on 2 labels, and I was impressed how quick we agreed on colors and fonts and everything. It just took, what, half day?
Yeah, I think it was just got to the point I didn't have any argument left in me, in all fairness.
I was so happy because it's usually like, I mean, Marcus usually deals with the technical side of the beers and all those things that are not pretty, like all the cleaning stuff, all the brewing stuff, everything, like all the chemical stuff. So everything what is technical. While I usually talk with the customers, which it's been 10 weeks, and they usually are the people that phoning me to place the orders. I'm really happy to hear them all the time. And usually I talk with the customers, with the pubs, with the suppliers. It's kind of like, I usually deal with that sort of side with like talking people, meeting people. So that's how it's been in Turpin's Brewery for about 4 years. I must say that I joined Turpin's Brewery while it was still in the Med. So I would say that my office is bigger than what the brewing room was at the pub. And it's kind of like, I don't know, over the years, we have more and more awards on the wall, and we have more recognition and more people know us. And recently, during the lockdown started, people really supported our online shop. And it kind of really shows how that, you know, we're known and people there and they like our beers and they want to support us. It's really, really nice. Sometimes I get emails from people, they kind of like give us a feedback about the beers, and I'm really, really happy because usually like I get only good emails about with very, very good feedback. So it's kind of like, I'm very happy to work in that sort of like company where we make a product and people really appreciate it, and they can see kind of like what we wanted to say with the branding and what we wanted to say with the product. And it's kind of like, basically I'm very happy to talk with the people on the phone. I usually get a lot of returning customers and they talk about the beers and which ones they favorite. So kind of like, yeah, I don't know.
We haven't really.
So you've since moved the brewery. Do you want to tell us a bit about the move and how that came about, and why you felt like you needed to upscale? Was it because you wanted to produce more beers or just a greater volume?
Well, I think we just got to a stage when we was at the Med. I mean, bear in mind, the original brew house, that's a 20 square metre room. It's absolutely tiny, and not even a room ready to swing a cat, as it were. But we had to make the decision to move. We either stayed at the Med, where we wouldn't be able to develop the business any further, or we moved to Pampersford, and Pampersford come up with the industrial unit there, and it was, I mean, you're talking about, we've gone from 20 square metre brew house to a 360 square metre brew house, so it's a huge change in size, and enough room to develop, put the small lab in there, have a really big cold room, and we've got the potential to the bottling side and the canning side there as well, and it just made more sense. Otherwise, we just wouldn't have been able to expand the business at all where we was.
I've got a question coming for you from Pete and Andy. Hi guys. They want to know, what is the current brew length of your brewery?
Current brew length? Well, we're really a 12-barrel brewery now, so we've got the potential with fans to brew sort of 4 times a week. That's comfortable for us. If we start pushing it anymore, it'd make things a little bit difficult. But we have got that potential now. We are actually a 12-barrel brewery, but we are limited a little bit by our fermenter space at the moment. Everything seems to be full and ready and waiting to go into cans, because the whole, as you know, with the current situation, the whole business has sort of been turned upside down on its head. So we've got beers that we've brewed, rather than casking them where they'd be going straight out at the moment, we've had to hold them ready to put into bottle or cans. But we're like I say, we're going back on that. We are a 12-barrel brewery with a brew length. We're able to do 4 times that amount per week.
There's quite a lot of debate and opinions going around in the beer scene all about cans and canned beer. What's your thoughts? I mean, obviously you like it enough to can beer, and I think it's great, but what do you say to the people that don't like beer in cans?
I think it's a little bit biased, actually. I do understand their concerns, and I'll be quite honest. There's nothing nicer than when you've got a nice bottle of beer. There isn't, you know, and you can bottle condition. You can condition, but it isn't quite the same. And I'll be honest, you can't can condition the same as you can bottle condition. But as far as flavour goes, it does seal the flavour, and the flavour is kept far better in the bottle. You've got no light whatsoever going into the bottle by any means. And I think it's as for craft beer, I just think it's an ideal, really. I do. We could bottle, but we decided to go more the canned line because we know we can ship them out, supply them. The beer quality is going to stay better in the can as well for us.
There was another one reason.
Mm.
There was another one reason that cans are very, very recycled, as it's aluminium. So 90% of the cans are actually going back to be recycled. And while the bottle, you still can break it. And also I heard from other breweries, because we had the chat with the local breweries, that with the cans, we are very lucky. We can ship them out anywhere in England with our courier. And we never had sort of incidents that they were damaged. While bottles, I think you need to invest more in packaging if you want to ship them out to the customers. I mean, I guess when you send it to supermarkets, it's not that big deal, but cans, we decided to do cans because we thought it's kind of like better, nicer, suits us.
Yeah.
We've got another question coming. This one's from Ali. Hello, Ali. He'd like to know if you can your beers on site.
At present, we don't can our beers on site because, bearing in mind, we've only really launched our canned product range the last few months. We wanted to test the market with our products first, because you understand a canning machine is quite a big outlay. I mean, you're not going to get a lot of change out of £100,000 for a canning machine. So at present, everything we do, we brew on site, and then it's taken to Cumbria, where it's canned in Cumbria by a very good team up there, and then this comes straight back. And we'll be looking to have our own canning on site before the end of the year, hopefully. That was the plan before the whole world got turned upside down anyway, but hopefully we're still on track with that.
Could you tell us about your core range of beers and what you currently have available in cans? This is your chance to sell some beer or some more beer.
Well, at present we've got our I've got one here. We've got our milkshake one, which you're currently drinking now, I assume, and that is one which Don we just talked about, which has the hint of mango in it. But just a little bit of the sweetness being a milkshake, and that's a nice balance, a nice especially on a nice warm day, a little with a hint of fruit. That's very nice. We've got our American Napa, which is an American Pale Ale, which is quite an interesting one. That's a very oat-based beer with lots of oats in there. Lots of Maris Otter, and it's also got quite a new British hop which we just absolutely love at Turpin's, called Olicana, which is a recent hop that's just been out the last sort of couple of years, which we think is just a really good grapefruity combination. So much so we've actually used a similar hop in our Pilsner, which our Pilsner is a little bit, I don't know if you can see that one there, that's our Pilsner, our underback Pilsner. That's a little bit different, because most Pilsners obviously are based on the German Pilsner, German malts, and also with German hops in it, but we've sort of added the Turpin's twist again, and we've done Pilsner, so it's a purely British Pilsner, which it's got British Pilsner malt in it, and it's also got British hops in it. So it's actually out and out pure British Pilsner, which actually comes across well. So we've actually won, I believe, a silver award for that one. I think that was last year. So we're quite pleased with that. We've also the last one at the moment of our can range, we've got Cambridge Black, which I believe is your particular favourite, Dan. So that's in cans, and that's doing particularly well, and that's won us numerous awards, that beer, and we absolutely love it. It's still our flagship beer.
We've got another question come in. This is from Helga. Hello, Helga.
Hi there.
I'd like to know, are you going to continue your online shop and local deliveries when things return to normal?
Yeah, well, I've started to wonder what normal is now, but yes, certainly we'll still be doing local deliveries. I think just the support that Cambridge has given us during this COVID-19 crisis, which we can never thank the Cambridge sort of beer drinking community enough, really. We're certainly going to keep it going as long as we can, as long as it's profitable, and as long as we can supply beer to Cambridge, we're going to be doing this. I just think it's a wonderful way of getting our beers direct to you guys.
That's fantastic. Is there any spoilers you're willing to give us about what's coming up? What's in the pipeline?
I'm going to pass this one over to Adita. So I think Adita better talk to you about our spoilers.
I have some spoilers. There is 2 beers coming, and one of them is going to be something that everybody really enjoyed last year at Cambridge Beer Festival. I'm not gonna tell which one. And another one is going to be a beer that everybody was also requesting, something that our range doesn't have. So that would be a citrusy pale ale. And if you can remind me how to change the background, I can just quickly show.
Yeah, if you just go to the little arrow next to stop video, click on that and click choose virtual backgrounds, and yeah, that'll be it.
Thank you very much. So, spoilers! That's one of them. As you can see, the colors are very nice and bright, which I'm very happy about. And let me see if I can show another one as well. So this beer, this particular IP, is going to be another fruity one. Marcus,
it's another fruity one. It's just in the background, just a hint of it in the background. We did. You may have tasted it before last year.
I did tell them that they did.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm a bit worried now. What you want me to say? Whether I'm going to give too much away here?
No. I was thinking if you can tell about the hops, because you know about the hops very, very, like always know about the hops much.
Yeah, well, this particular beer had a lot of late hops into it. So this had about 3 stages of late hops in it. We had a late hop in the underback as it come out. Then had another late hop in with pellets just post fermentation. Then it had another late hop in after chill. And so it's quite heavily hopped, and it's quite heavily hopped with I'd say quite a well-known American hop. I think that's about all I'm going to say. I'm pretty certain half of you already know what it is anyways, but
so another spoiler alert is another can coming as well. So if you know the color scheme of Turpin's pump clips, you most probably gonna guess this one very, very kind of like easy. We have this beer in a keg, and people really like it, so we decided that we're going to put in cans, and that is going to be packed with a mosaic hop, which I know that people really like it.
It is particularly one of my favourite hops as well.
And that's, you can see our brewery as much as you can see. Which it looks very different now, because we wanted to open a shop where people can come and find different beers from a lot around the UK, from the breweries that we know and really like ourselves. So something that you can't find that easy in Cambridge. So we had the plan and we started to build the bar, and everything was almost ready before this COVID started.
Literally, I think it was about a week away from opening, and then we was the whole of the country was told no, shut your pubs down. So we couldn't open it, and we're literally a week away from opening up our tap room.
I've got a new question. This one's from Pete and Andy, who'd like to know: will Strawberry Haze make a return? It sold out quite quickly at Cambridge Beer Festival last year. That was the most exciting.
That did, didn't it? Yeah, wonderful beer. Another one that's done extremely well in cask for us is Strawberry Haze. It's what we're thinking of doing. Some of these beers that we've done really well with cask, we want to move them across to can, because at the moment all the beer lovers can't really get cask beer. It's just been put on hold. So that's another one we're really looking to possibilities of putting that into can. So hopefully, but that will make a return, and it would have made a return to Cambridge Beer Festival this year, sadly. But watch this space. I'm sure that will. Go on then.
Every single year in May, I need to fight for Strawberry Haze, because none of the team members believed in Strawberry Haze until it got silver award. But every single year I have to make sure I have this beer in stock. And
it sells out every year.
It is every year. I do remember. That's a fun fact, because from our history, we have a lot of limited editions that we brewed once, but because people were liking so much, it just became our permanent beers. So Dragon's Den, and I know a lot of people know this beer, was brewed for St. George's Day. That was back in 2017. One limited brew that stayed since then. Mango Milkshake Meditation was brewed for Cambridge Beer Festival last year, but after we sold out everything and people were phoning and emailing us, we were like, okay, so what do we do now? Well, first of all, we need to brew. Secondly, we need to put in casks. And now we need to think about the small pack, because everybody's like, don't tell me I like this beer and I drank all week and I can't get it anywhere. So that was this funny situation. Napa was another limited edition that we brewed for Beer Festival, and we were like, okay, so we need to brew now again and make sure that it's exactly the same good. How many beers we had like that?
I think quite a few. We tend to put them out as a beer that as a trial beer, which we think is wonderful, and then everyone else thinks wonderful. So we just carry on brewing it, and I think that certainly has been one of them beers.
I've got a question come in from Helga, who would like to know: can you put any of your cask beers range in cans, or are there beers which aren't suited for it?
I think you can, but certain beers, in my opinion, certain beers are better as cask beers anyway. I love cask beer, but certain beers certainly are better in cask. But you can put just about anything in can. It's just a matter of if you adjust the carbonation level in the can, really, and to whatever you really need it to be. Like for instance, the stout, because it's going in a can, that we don't highly carbonate that. It does have just a touch of carbonation in, just to give it that background. So it's quite a low carbonation beer, and you go the opposite end of the scale with our Pilsner, which traditionally that's a higher, more carbonated product. So, but yes, we can put any of our beers into can, but it's a matter of working out quite how we do it. Because obviously with the a cask beer, you can't. You have to when you let it settle, you let it breathe, but you can't do that with a can. So you've got to decide how you're going to be serving that, how you want that to end up at the consumer's end, really. But yeah.
So you've touched upon some of the awards that you've won. Which award are you most proud of?
Well, I think it's got to be the best beer Eastern region. When we cask, when we won that, we hadn't really moved to the premises. We hadn't really been going that long back in 2017, and then to win that award, which was up against a lot of other breweries in the whole of the Eastern region. I must admit, I was quite proud of that one.
I can tell exactly how proud I was. I spoiler alerts. So basically, it was 9 months we were in the big premises, and we weren't expecting anything. And we went that day to do some volunteering, because every single time you enter the awards, you need to send some people. So we went there, and I remember we were like joking around, and we were like really, really happy that day. Like, we weren't expecting anything. And when the award bid happened in the evening, and Marcus sitting there with the pint, and somebody says like, "Oh, Cambridge Black," because we've got 2 gold awards. Cambridge Black won award in the stout category, and Marcus was really, really happy about that. Like, he was sitting like, "Oh my God, one of my flagship beers, they won this award." And then there was like overall 2017 East Region, and it was like Cambridge Black, and he was sitting there with the pint, like not expecting anything. And I remember he took a sip, and somebody said like Cambridge Black, and like it was announced, and he was almost choked. And like he's like sitting there like, "What do I do now? Like, what happened? How?" It was, oh my God, I remember that moment. It was something like, but it actually, that was one of the breaking points for our brewery, and that was really good, because we had a very interesting 2017. We had a move from the pub to the brewery that took us about a month to set all the equipment and everything, to make sure that we have everything in place. And then, funny enough, in the summer, that was June, it was a very big storm, and somehow the lightning strikes the main. It just like that, and we're like with no electricity, with like meditation and tank is not ready, and like, what do we do now? So I think that was the first beer that we had to drain, and it really, really painful to see the beer going down the drain, exactly when you know which people already book it, and exactly when you put so much like love and time to brew and test, and it just like, so those 2 awards 3 months after, it was something really nice, and it actually really, really helped us, because a lot of people thought that we gone, or that we still at the Met. They didn't realize that we upscaled and that we moved. And it's kind of like, it's also showed to people that, you know, this beer is really, really good. Like, awards really help to sell, and awards, all awards we've got, the one award that I'm really, really proud was the Strawberry Haze one. The beer that nobody was believing in it, just only me and my customers. So I think that was the one that I took it, and I was really happy, and I was like holding all evening. And since Strawberry Haze got awards, there was no question, if I'm asking to brew Strawberry Haze, the Strawberry Haze is going to be there. So that's one award I really like, because nobody really believed in that beer.
Well, that's fantastic. So it seems that if you call one of your beers limited edition, we can't believe you.
No, true. Not anymore. That's gone right out the window.
What a testament to the great work you're doing with so many awards, and even your kind of one-off brews are still going out there and winning awards. So you're going to need a bigger building soon, aren't you, to display them all?
Well, yes, we hope so. We're obviously we're now going into unknown territory, really, with the situation at the moment. I think it's something that could be quite damaging to our industry. Actually, it is quite scary to think, but it'd be nice to think that we can get a bigger room to put more trophies in. But let's see how things pan out over the next few months.
I've got a good question here. This is from Helga, who says, is there anything in particular CAMRA as an organisation can do to support breweries and pubs in the current situation?
John, repeat it, please.
As a person who always really liked CAMRA, since I used to read the magazine in the bar. Well, I shouldn't read magazines in the bar, but I used to read the CAMRA magazine. I think that the job you guys doing is really great. What really works for us at this current situation is social media impact. It's liking, sharing posts. So what I noticed from our perspective, every single time we put the post and people liking or put a little heart or share it, it gives bigger visibility and we get automatically more people interested to trying our beers. So at this current situation, I mean, I wasn't expecting this virtual Cambridge Beer Festival happening, which I'm really happy about. So thank you for everybody, and I don't know whose idea it was, but it's absolutely amazing because, I mean, we still can have our present and we still can talk about our brewery and about the beers. It's really a lot. And I know that a lot of Cambridge Beer organizers and the people who attended last year already did buy beers from us, and I've got very emotional when I saw Helga buying this and all the organizers, because I kind of like, I'm happy guys that you are buying. I would rather be there pulling those pints for you and you giving me those little tokens for free, or I don't know who's paying for that. But I mean, you guys doing a lot. So the only one thing I think is just sharing information on social media, because that's where we are now. We have our online shop, and that's where we're selling our beer. So anytime you can see us posting something, share and like, that will do. That's how much we want from you guys.
Any help we can get at the minute was gladly received.
So social media wise, you're on Facebook and Instagram, aren't you? So everyone can go to those and search for Ted Brewery and give you a follow. Yeah,
with Facebook, Instagram, Twitter we don't tend to use so much, but it's something. But certainly Facebook quite a lot, and Insta. And we do a regular blog as well, which if you check the website, you can see our regular blog on there.
And then obviously, you know, you can give a call to me, ask how I am, place the order, and we were gonna arrange the delivery the same day or the following day. We're very good with deliveries. That's what I heard from my customers. They usually say that they're not expecting the beer delivered the next day. And also we're using very, very good courier company that they usually really, really fast. We did ship some beer to Manchester yesterday, and it was before 6 o'clock. And I know that they received 12 o'clock today. I mean, I'm so happy to have this courier company. They are absolutely amazing.
I think that's better than Amazon at the minute.
Yeah, that's actually true.
So we've got just over 10 minutes left. Would you like to tell everyone what you've got available in your online shop?
Edita, would you?
Yeah. All right. Okay, so I have all the beers in front of me. So we have a mixed pack, which is everybody's favorite. I'm not gonna lie. So if you haven't tried any of our beers, the mixed pack is absolutely must try. And I noticed that a lot of people try the mixed packs and then they decide which beer they like. So in the mixed pack, you're gonna get the Pretty Napa American Pale Ale, which is hoppy and has like a hint of the grapefruit. and it's hazy and it's 5%. That's one of the best-selling beers last year in Cambridge Beer Festival in our bar. Then we have our one brew limited edition that stayed with us since last year as well, which is Mango Milkshake Pale Ale 4.3. Then also you can order the Pilsner, which is, Marcus always was obsessed to have a Pilsner in the range, which I never understood. Because I tell you, because I came from a country where real ales, I think, does not exist. It does exist now, it didn't exist. So when I came to England, real ales and the dark ales were something, I was like, oh my God, how did I live without dark ales? It's so nice. So yeah, so you can have Pilsner and dark ales, you can have a stout as well. So the mixed pack is 3 of each style, so it's 12 cans, and then you also can order individually packs of 12. If you phone me and you are very, very nice and you want 3 styles or 2 styles, I usually let people customize the orders, but that doesn't need to be done through the website. Another one thing is all the orders through the website has a shipping and packing. It's because it's online shop and we are charged for the orders. But if you phone me directly and you live in 10-mile radius, you don't pay that shipping and packaging $4.99. So that's one thing. And also I have checked that if you live really far away, $4.99 is not that bad. I saw shipping for beers more than this. So it's kind of like, also if you want to have a chat, if you prefer something else in your mixed pack, just drop us an email. I'm very happy to talk with anybody in this current situation. It's lockdown week 10, I think so. So missing human connections. So please phone me, please email.
And your mixed case is really enough to have your own mini Cambridge Beer Festival at home in the garden. And if you happen to own a tent, you can have an even more realistic experience.
That's a great idea.
I think that sums up everything.
Are you also selling merchandise in your shop? Any of your lovely t-shirts? I feel quite dull the way I'm dressed this evening.
Well, a part of my unique t-shirt that I'm wearing now, which was made by one of my colleagues, especially for me, yes, we have a blue tie-dye. We have a sateen tie-dye that Marcus is wearing now.
Modeling this one?
That is, by the way, that is the most favorite one. If you are sort of person that don't like bright colors, it's okay. We have the blue ones, which is like calmer, you know, sea, ocean, sort of like really vibes. And then we have a black one as well if you really don't like tie-dye. So yes, it's available on our website. It can be bought. We're happy to send. We do have a limited stock in sizes. But to be very honest, these t-shirts are really nice. Like they very good quality. And yes, they are available for you to buy on our shop.
We could also ship them with a case of beer.
The links to Turpin's Facebook page and their online shop are both in the chat function of Zoom. We've got just over 5 minutes left now, so if you have any last minute burning questions, now's the time to ask. And while you're all thinking of those, it's very difficult to predict the future in these uncertain times, but where do you think we're going to be next year in terms of Turpin's Brewery? I know you've got the 2 new beers coming. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I think we're gonna push our craft beer can range, certainly, because we're limited. I mean, we can't produce the cask beer that we have been producing the last few years. So we've got to really turn our business completely around and start producing more canned and bottled beers. I think going forward, what I really would like to do, and that's been something I've been thinking about for quite a long time, is producing a lot of sort of aged beers and then canning them. Some of the oak aged rum beers and something like that. I think that might be another avenue that I'd really like to look into, and I think certainly with the way the whole beer industry might be going in the next few months, I think that's going to have to be a serious consideration.
Well, I am really hope that in a year's time we're not gonna sit at home again. That's one thing.
Yeah.
I hope I'm gonna be in my office again. I hope that the little bar and little shop is going to be open, so all the people that send me an emails and all the people that I spoke with them on the phone, all the people who promised to come to the brewery, they are gonna be there, because that is something that I really miss, people. So it's supposed to be one of the best weeks in my most favorite beer festival, and I would say I really feel very strange that we are not in Jesus Green pulling pints in a tent. And I think at this point we're supposed to run out of the beer. At this point last year I was somewhere behind the scenes enjoying my pint myself. So it's kind of like, yes, I really hope that I'm gonna see everybody in the year's time in the beer festivals. And actually I really hope that the cask beers are going back, because cask beers are the eco-friendliest beers as you possibly can find, because the cask is something that you can reuse, and the container you can use it again and again. So I hope that the pubs that are shut at the moment, they're gonna be reopened and people can go to their favorites and to the local pubs, and I hope they're not gonna be empty, and I hope that they're gonna reopen. It's just something that I found it really beautiful as a part of the culture and tradition in Great Britain. So hopefully, I hope that everybody's gonna survive this COVID-19, and I hope that a lot of business is gonna reopen, and I hope that a lot of beer festivals is gonna happen, and things somehow will go back to normal, whatever normal is.
Yeah, whatever normal is.
Whatever normal is. But I would like to say thank you, Dan, hosting our video. Very nice of you. Thank you for being our brewery license as well. And happy
Yeah, thank you very much.
Happy birthday as well. Spoilers.
Thank you very much. We're just about coming to the end of our time, so I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for coming to this session. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we've really enjoyed putting this on this week. Obviously a little bit different organising something like this. We're normally, spending about 3 weeks on Jesus Green in the baking hot sunshine, which we book without fail every year, in the tent, around lots of people and serving some fantastic beers. So it'll be great to see you all next year, hopefully in our massive marquee, and hopefully we'll be joined by Dieter and Marcus from Terpins, and you'll come and do Learning and Discovery one day with us.
Yes, certainly.
It's a yes for me.
That's certainly a yes from me as well.
Fantastic, because you were lined up this year, and it's a great shame, but we'll have an even better festival and Learning and Discovery feature next year. So thanks for joining me today. You've been fantastic guests.
Thank you.
And I hope you've enjoyed it. And to everyone out there, you've got the links there. Go and order some Terpins beer. You won't find a mixed case available that is more mixed than a Terpins one. Mango beer and stout in the same case is a niche, but a very, very good one. So a final thank you from me, and that's the end of our session. Tomorrow we'll have Simon from Simon's Cider, who's going to be doing a talk all about cider, and that will be something not to miss. So it's goodbye from me. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
Bye,
thank you.
guys.
Bye. Thank you.